Okay, we're live.
Nice.
So I'll offer a prayer just to get us started.
Okay.
All right.
Our dear Heavenly Father, we're so grateful for this day and grateful that we can gather together in this group and discuss the case study that we've gone over. We ask you to help us to understand its content and work together to understand it and potentially use it in our future lives. We're grateful for the opportunity we have to get this education and ask that will help us to use it well to benefit others and ourselves. And we pray for these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
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 Okay, there's actually only 4 questions.
Yeah.
So,
That's awesome.
so we'll have to kind of dive into these. The first question is, what value would you place on RightNow technologies?
Oh man. Like an actual numerical value?
Yeah, like if you were to give it a value.
Oh boy.
I had a so there was somewhere in the case it said something 2 to 3 times multiplier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it had their previous post money. So it gave you 2 to 3. So their previous post money was 129 million. So you're knowing the new valuation with the acquisition should be between 2 or 3 of 129. So it's 5,160,000 or 7.74 million. It's in that window. So between 5 and 7 million.
The value.
That's what I.
Wouldn't it be a lot more than that?
Yeah.
Like 500 million?
Yeah, I'm sorry. That.
Okay. I thought like you saying 5 million. I was like, wait.
I put decimal points. So
Yeah. Got it. Yeah, I need to look at that because I do remember reading that. Post money 100.
Wow, that's a lot though.
That does seem really high.
Yeah. Because like the last the valuation was like 129 millions, right?
Yeah.
Million.
Yeah. So the new one would be 258 between 258 and 387. That's what I messed up on.
That sounds about right. That is a lot. And that's how much they would be worth if they actually went ahead with the acquisition then, right?
Yeah, and then Gianforte, that whatever the guy's name is, he owns 60%.
Mm-hmm.
So he's making out with at least $154 million.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it's worth. I mean, obviously, I don't know if he's going to sell, but he wouldn't be selling. It's an acquisition. So I mean, yeah, between 154 and 232 is his take home. It's good.
That's not bad.
So the one thing I'm kind of concerned, not really concerned, but I'm looking. So on exhibit 4, kind of gives a list of merger and acquisition transactions, and it doesn't bring up it doesn't show the company's value. It judges it by sales revenue or seller revenue. So, which I averaged the adjusted price per revenue, and it was about 2.5 multiplier, and then I used RightNow's revenue from last year, which is almost 36 million, which puts their that's where I'm confused because yours sounds more right.
No, I mean I'm not saying I don't. Mine is. I'm just guessing. But I mean, there's more than one way to evaluate a company. They That's one.
Yeah, I don't know how that transfers from like a VC valuation versus an acquisition valuation. I don't know if they're different.
I think typically an acquisition, it's a lot. Sometimes it just depends on how bad the company or like how much leverage they have. But I've seen them go for a lot more.
Yeah. Because the valuation that I kind of got using the revenues and using this kind of average of transactions, I got about 90 million, which doesn't seem right if they were already valued at 129 million like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So
Okay, that actually makes a lot of sense. But they did have, was the 129 after their like bad IPO?
yes, that was post. You know what?
And that's when they were doing bad, so it would be more than that, I guess. Just using that logic.
They didn't really go for the IPO, so it was like in 2000 that was valid. The company was valid. Valuation was like 129.
Yeah, so let me find that. So post money valuation of their Series B was 129 million.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know on that one.
Remember how I was saying one week how sometimes on the cases like it would be nice if we had like a right answer.
Yeah.
Like I wish they could say this is what the value should be, and then be like, oh okay, cool, I got it wrong or I got it right. And, I don't know. We're just kind of dabbing in the dark and hope we get it. We would never know if we did or not. So.
Let's see what the internet has to say about this, because now I'm curious about what happened.
So there's some YouTube videos too on it.
Yeah.
Some of them are like an hour long. They're like the teacher analyzing the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. So it looks like what really happened is that they. Oh, this might be spoiling our discussion later. Maybe I'll hold off. I'll hold off on what they actually did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
So did we already do the first the second question?
no, so the second question is, please provide a range of values rather than a single number. How did you come to this conclusion?
All right. So yeah, I guess I was skipping ahead, but it's between 2 and 3. So that's pretty much the math.
Yeah, I kind of just took the average of previous acquisition stuff, which was about 2.5. So I'd say that would kind of be the multiplier. Now we just
So like 2.5 right in the middle.
Yeah.
Would that be a 2.5 times the 129 million?
Yep.
Okay. Well, yeah, we do that math. See here.
Should be right around 300.
29 times 2.5. Yeah, so 322.5 million is what I'm showing on that.
yeah.
Good for them.
Yeah,
that is quite impressive.
very impressive. And we came to this conclusion based on the fact that we used the 129 times the average multiplier of 2.5, right?
Yeah. I mean, their value probably went up in the last, because that was in 2001. So this is like a year or two later. So their value probably even went higher.
Yeah.
So it's probably that's probably on the super low end.
Yeah. You want to jump down to do to problem 3 now, or no?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Yeah, where it says if Greg's investors seek a 30 to 50% internal rate of return, what exit value will they expect? Would that be based off of what we just came up with, the 322.5?
Probably.
So if we take, I don't know, anywhere, if we take 322.5 times by 0.7, even if their investors take away 30%, I'm showing 225.75. And then if it were half, I'm showing 161.25 that they would take away, depending on how much equity they want to give to those investors.
Mm-hmm.
That's my answer. Do you guys have any other answers, or?
I just feel like I'm trying to understand the internal rate of return a little bit more. I just don't think I fully understand it.
Yeah, I don't really understand it
So
either.
for that, we would have to have like a period, and then we would have to have the cash streams.
Yeah, it's kind of more related to cash flow.
Yeah, you have to have the projected cash flow for how many years, and then you would just discount it, and then they would tell you you would just do the IRR.
Yeah.
Do we have that here?
I didn't see any cash flow. Well, maybe I didn't. Maybe I didn't look into it enough. But let's see, cash flow. Yes. Yeah, I don't think I see a cash flow statement.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything about cash flow either.
Yeah, so it's kind of hard to do it, man.
There's revenues for
There is a
couple of years.
consolidated statement of operations with revenue, cost of revenue, but I don't see cash flow on there.
I just feel like there's questions here that I don't understand enough about.
Then on page or exhibit 8 has more of an balance sheet type thing.
Is it? That's from Salesforce, though.
Oh, that's right. That's Salesforce. Never mind.
That's part of their whatever IPO thing.
Sorry. Yeah. In that case, I don't know.
50%.
So if they were to take 50%, then my number would be wrong then that I came up with?
I just don't know. Rate of return 50%. I mean, are they talking about how like the value of the company will increase by 30 to 50%? Like that would be the exit value. So if you create a rate of return of 30%, then does that create an extra 30% of value for the company?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like it's saying that like if revenue return, and if they decide to exit, that much value will increase. I guess. I don't know what I'm talking about, guys.
I don't
I'm
think.
in that boat too, man.
Yeah, this is one case study that I don't think. I mean, these questions are just something that I don't understand enough about. So in that case, let's move on. Number 4.
Yeah.
Provide your analysis of each of the options Greg is considering. Based on your analysis, what should Greg do? Consider Greg's goals as well as the goals of everyone else who is involved in this venture. So what did you guys think he should do?
My opinion is go for the acquisition. It would bring in a lot of money. I kind of felt like they kind of messed up on the IPO, so perhaps they should stay away from that. They have opportunity to really put themselves out there and to earn a lot more money. And so, kind of again, if you want something to succeed, you should risk it. That's just my opinion on that, though. What do you guys think?
So
I was. You go for it.
sorry. I was just thinking they should just reject the acquisition and try to run the company by themselves, because the company's growth is so it can't. There's like so much chances for it to grow like a lot bigger, and helping it like grow bigger they will make more money later.
Yeah, I think I would personally just take the acquisition, just because then you'd have the resources of a larger company, you'd be able to expand that way. But I'm really close to what Nick was saying, whereas like their revenue is projected to almost double next year. So like they're obviously doing really well on their own. If they do that for a couple more years, maybe they'll get another acquisition offer, or maybe an IPO will be more feasible.
Yeah, and also like he said, like his goal was to like have like 2,000 employees, but there's only like 400 or something like that people working for him. And I think like if he like put some plan together and workforce and develop stuff, like he should be able to like get a lot more right now.
Yeah. So, you guys want to know what happened?
Yeah.
According to Wikipedia, which is reliable.
Oh, very reliable.
So it says in 2004, RightNow Technologies raised $44.1 million in a successful IPO on the Nasdaq exchange. So they went public in 2004. They acquired some company in 2006. In 2009, they acquired another company. Let's see. In 2011, they acquired another company. And then in October 2011, Oracle Corporation announced its intention to acquire RightNow for $1.5 billion.
Oh my
Yeah, dude, I'm an idiot. I messed up.
Yeah, TV.
I just lost a lot of money.
So, yeah, let's see. That's what, almost 8 years later.
Yeah.
After acquiring a couple different companies, and But yeah, 1.5 billion in early 2012. They were acquired by Oracle.
Oracle's big.
$1.5 billion.
Yeah, that's stupid money. I don't even fathom that.
Yeah, it's too much.
So that's interesting that they went with the IPO. I mean, it obviously must have gone pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially after the first one failed. The fact that they tried again. Like,
Yeah.
I did not think that they were going to actually do that, but
Well, at that point, because it keeps mentioning that at that point a lot of the going public was kind of tough because people didn't know what the market was going to be like. So maybe in 2004 things were a little bit more stable and they were able to make it work that time.
yeah, definitely. Well, I think this is the second time I've guessed wrong when it comes to an IPO. So the first time I said,
Same.
yeah, because the first time I was like, go ahead and go for it, and then they tanked. It was that restaurant, and then
Yeah.
oh, don't do the IPO this time, and then of course it works out. So
I feel like my decision in all these things is always just take the money and run.
Yeah, right. 'Cause it's like, well, I can just it's money right now. There's no risk in it. It's already there. Let's do it, and it's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good decision if you're playing safe. You're getting your money, you're getting rich, and you don't have to worry about company, I guess, anymore.
I think the thing we lack is we don't believe in the product. We don't know the product, and we can't be like, oh no, this is going to be good. This is revolutionary. Like, I'm a believer in this. Like, we don't have that. So these guys they'll hold out and keep working because they believe in it.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things where it's like, look, do you want $100 million today or $500 million in 3 years?
Right now, boy, I'm kind of retired.
Yeah, I mean, if you know definitely like you're receiving 500 millions in 5 years, you'll probably wait, right?
Yeah. But I feel like, I don't know, that would be a very interesting question to ask some people. It'd be like, would you want $100 million now or $500 million in 5 years? Which one would you take?
I'd do the 100 million now. That's a lot. 5
Really?
years,
right?
Yeah, because only because it's such a ridiculous sum of money. I would never use that much. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I'll have to tweak that and send them a huge survey.
yeah, because for me, it's kind of like asking me, what do I want? $1 trillion now or $5 trillion in 5 years? Oh, did you want 5 cars now or 25 cars tomorrow or whatever?
I'll just take the 5. I don't need 25.
Now, to me, it gets to the point where it's like, well, I got what I need. What more do I need? But that's just on a personal level. It's for a company. If it was for a company and that all that money covered everybody, then yeah, I might wait for 5 more years.
But I like what Jimmy said, where it's like, if you're invested in the company and you truly believe that it could grow beyond what it's valued at right now, then you're not going to take it. You're going to wait.
Yeah.
So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, good. At least we know what happened.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, I was worried. So.
Any other comments? Any questions?
So this week, the next thing we have, it's not a case study, but it's like we did the last time where we have it's like a report we have to do.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. What was the last one was on the rent address. Remember we did that report?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So this one I haven't read what it's on. I just know that it's like if you go to the grades, it's one of the bigger, like it's worth more points.
Okay, good to know.
But we just need to send out a Google Doc and we'll just work on it together like last one. I'll just put the last one up so we can all see it, or I'll just send an email out, and that way you guys can kind of, because we got 100% on it, we might as well just use the same structure and just kind of build off of that.
Yeah, I agree.
So unless I haven't read the questions, I assume they're the same, but we'll see.
Yeah.
In that case, for the carbon 6 rings, that's a group assignment.
I think so. I haven't read into it that much.
So I guess I slowly glanced over it. I mean, quickly.
It might not
So
be a good thing. I don't. Let me read into it real quick.
All right. Well, we'll just send a text out and we'll kind of plan.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if it's a group thing. Anyway, we'll all read it over and then we'll figure it out. Figure out if we need to meet on Thursday.
Okay.
All right.
All right, fair enough.
Cool, guys.
All right, thank you.